to order the May 2nd meeting of the Vernon Township Board of Ed. Can I get a motion? Motion.
Second.
Stephanie, thank you. Roll call.
It's gonna always be two.
Ms. Brock? Loud. Mr. Smaglio? Mr. Catino? Mr. Fisher?
Here.
Mr. Kraus?
Here.
Ms. Pellet?
Here.
Mr. Sweeney?
Here.
Ms. Vaccarello?
Here.
Mr. Zurin? We have a quorum.
Recommended that the board enter closed session for the purposes of discussing legal personnel and student matters. Get a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
You all in favor?
Aye.
Here, closed.
Hey, Captain.
gonna call to order, we're gonna, it's recommended that the board return to open session. I don't know how to do. Could I get a motion? Oh, is that it? Good evening, everyone. We're gonna get started if you don't mind quieting down just a tad. Thank you. It's great to have you all here tonight. All right, it's recommended that the board return to open session. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second. Okay, can I get a roll call? Oh, all in favor? I'm sorry.
Aye.
Roll call.
Oh.
Do you want to do all in favor?
I
Yeah.
did all in favor and I got a couple ayes. Did I get five?
Aye.
Okay, now, but we do need to roll call for the record for who's here.
Ms. Brock? Mr. Semaglia?
Here.
Mr. Contino?
Here.
Mr. Fisher?
Here.
Mr. Kraus?
Here.
Ms. Pellet?
Here.
Mr. Sweeney?
Here.
Ms. Vaccarello?
Here.
Mr. Zimmerman? Ms. Gianella?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Please rise and join me for the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Item G, Mr. Slam, a reading of the meeting notice.
The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies in which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with provisions of the Act, the Vernon Township Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published, and adequate notice has been provided, and notice of this meeting has been properly posted in accordance with the New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law. Just a quick note, our next public session will be Thursday, June 12th.
Thank you. Item H, approval of the minutes. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Carl, second.
Second.
John. I get a roll call?
Mr. Smaglia?
Yes.
Mr. Contino?
Yes.
Mr. Fisher?
Yes.
Mr. Kraus?
Yes, but abstain from the minutes on the meeting from April 16th.
Ms. Pellet?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney?
Yes.
Ms. Vaccarello?
Yes.
Motion carries.
We do need to call Mr. Zimmerman and Ms. Brock, right? Because we haven't announced yet.
Since they're absent, and I usually stop calling them if they're absent,
Got it. Thank you.
unless they come, then I'll start calling.
Excellent. Thank you. Okay, item I, President's Report. Tonight, we're excited to be recognizing our educators for professional awards and for milestone years of service, as well as thanking those who are retiring this year. Mr. Rogers will share details, so I'll just say that the board is grateful for our dedicated staff members' years of service to our schools and students and look forward to these recognitions. I'd also like to inform the community that one of our board members has resigned for personal reasons. We thank Melissa Brock for her service and wish her the best. The Board of Education is now seeking candidates to fill this vacancy. Interested individuals should email a letter of intent along with the resume if they wish to our board secretary, Ray Slam, preferably by June 10th, as we're hoping to do interviews at our June 12th board meetings. Our superintendent search is moving along well. We received 30 applications, including 12 from candidates with superintendent experience. We've already completed first round interviews with 10 candidates, and we'll be holding second round interviews on May 27th. As part of this process, we also gathered feedback through a community survey and held input sessions with middle and high school students, staff, and community members. The goal was to better understand the opportunities, challenges, and priorities for our district so that we can align our search with community values. A big thank you to board members who dedicated their time and energy to this important work, and also to our school board rep, Kelly Mitchell, who handled logistics for us in the process. Finally, I want to give a heartfelt thank you to our student representative. We've appreciated her thoughtful perspective throughout the year and wish her very best as she heads off to college. Thank you. You know. All right, now for the fun part. Item J.
My favorite packed board meeting of the year. First, I'd like to recognize our governor educators of the year. We already celebrated them in Corona Farms recently. Again, it's excited to see so many extraordinary educators who put their life's work into such a noble profession. And I enjoy just looking out at the crowd, and when I look and see everyone, I see everyone in your role in your classroom, whether it was in the 1980s over here with some of my retired teachers, or some of the new teachers that I see that will be here in years to come. So the Governor Educator of the Year Award in Walnut Ridge, with more than 20 years of dedicated to special education, Mrs. Cook has been an incredible asset to countless students and families. Her knowledge, her guidance, and the way she consistently lifts up her colleagues have made Mrs. Cook such a vital part of Vernon Township preschool team, full day preschool team. Yes, thank you. Ms. Cook? Congratulations. Cedar Mountain Primary School. Ms. Petty excels as an educator at Cedar Mountain, actively advancing inclusive education through the New Jersey Inclusion Project, creating supportive and engaging classroom environment that incorporates multisensory techniques and practical activities tailored to diverse learning preferences and unique student needs. I know you'll remember tonight, and that you'll tell your new child about this in years to come, Ms. Petty. Rolling Hills. Ms. Weber is a gifted special education teacher who consistently demonstrates a genuine passion for teaching struggling students to read in her role as a Wilson Reading Program practitioner. Maybe I need her a little bit too. Her ultimate goal is to encourage each of them to become confident, lifelong learners. Mrs. Weber. Lounsbury Hollow School. Mrs. Jensen is a credit to the teaching professor. A first-class educator, she works tirelessly to help all of her students meet with success. Mrs. Jensen. Glen Meadow Middle School. Mrs. Papandrea's caring and compassionate nature allows her to create an environment where every student feels valued and capable. She works tirelessly to build confidence in each of her learners, empowering them to overcome challenges and reach their full potential. Mrs. Papandrea is not here today, but I'd like a round of applause for Mrs. Papandrea. Fabulous. Vernon Township High School. Mrs. Discarfano Cantagna is a dedicated, kind, and humble educator whose commitment and compassion make a profound impact on our students every day. Her hard work and genuine care create a supportive and inspiring learning environment, shaping the lives of those she teaches in the most meaningful way. If you're in her classroom, you know she inspires her students. Mrs. Discarfano Cantagna.
Exciting.
Now our Educational Services Professional Award, Cedar Mountain Primary School. Mrs. Emnick creates a nurturing and educational environment that supports our students' academic, social, and emotional growth, collaborating with colleagues and parents to share her expertise, to build strong support networks that enrich our students' learning experience. Mrs. Emnick. Rolling Hills, Ms. Stokes, our school counselor, has a wonderful rapport with our students, staff members, parents, and guardians. She consistently goes above and beyond for anyone who needs her assistance and has quickly become a significant asset to the culture and climate of the Rolling Hills school community. Ms. Stokes. Thank you for everything. Lounsbury Hollow School. Ms. Revelant is a champion for our struggling readers and writers. She brings passion and enthusiasm to all of her classes because those students believe that they can achieve and be successful. Ms. Revelant. Glen Meadow Middle School. Dr. Konopitsky is a highly skilled and knowledgeable professional who consistently advocates for all students, demonstrating a deep commitment to their success. Her dedication to supporting each child, coupled with her expertise, ensures that every student receives the guidance and resources they need to be successful. Dr. Konopitsky. Vernon Township High School. Ms. Pisco is a dedicated and empathetic school counselor who tirelessly supports her students, ensuring their academic and personal success. Her unwavering commitment and advocacy go beyond expectations, making a profound impact on the lives of her students and those that are hers. Mrs. Pisco. Next, I'll be giving years of service awards. Wow, there's hundreds of years of service tonight. Thank you all. Like I said, it is a noble profession, and as I invite and recognize your years of service, I do see every one of you in your classroom in front of your students. So the first for 45 years of service, Dr. Robert Chorney, Vernon Township High School. Congratulations, Dr. Thank you, Tony. Thank you. Mr. Foley is overseeing the golf championship right now, so he couldn't be here, but he's being recognized for his 30 years of service at Vernon Township High School, class of '87. Mrs. Kristen Goodenkoff for 30 years of service. That's Dr. Christopher Jensen for 30 years of service. Jennifer Moskovitz for 30 years of service. Cynthia Thomas for 30 years of service. Class of '87. Mary Ann Amato for 25 years of service. Mark Bray for 25 years of service. Clara Carlson for 25 years of service. Bernie Casimiro for 25 years of service. Edward Flannery for 25 years of service. Diana Flores for 25 years of service. Carrie Frawley for 25 years of service. David Freifelder for 25 years of service. Kelly Fry for 25 years of service. Janet Gola for 25 years of service. Cindy Gazda for 25 years of service. Shannon Irish for 25 years of service.
Thank you.
Shannon Jenkins for 25 years of service. Pam Kasher for 25 years of service. John Logie for 25 years of service.
Thank you.
Susan Lopez for 25 years of service.
Thank you.
Anne Marie McCabe for 25 years of service. Joanne Siegel for 25 years of service. Chad Cisco for 25 years of service. Thomas Smarth for 25 years of service. Scott Trevento for 25 years of service. I'll now honor the retirees. Whereas the retiree has dedicated themselves to the Vernon Township School District, displaying an unselfish commitment to our children, exemplifying the ideals of professionalism and the standard of excellence, has requested retirement. And whereas the Vernon Township Board of Education, together with its citizens, wishes to acknowledge exemplary service that the retiree has provided to our children. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the Vernon Township Board of Education does hereby extend its appreciation and gratitude to the retiree in recognition of their exemplary service to our school district. And be it further resolved that the Vernon Township Board of Education spread this resolution in full upon the minutes. It's almost as long as a list of the years of service. You know, in giving this many years of service in a profession like this, It is an honor to acknowledge these retirees. First, Angelina Williams, Rolling Hills Primary School. Miss Jennifer Smith. Board office. I'll announce where they retired from, as sometimes people have been in many buildings. Janet Gola, Glen Meadow Middle School. Yeah, it says this. Noreen Eberly, Cedar Mountain Primary School. Brian Burke, Vernon Township High School. Karen Lagas, Lounsbury Hollow School. Diane Smaldone, Glen Meadow Middle School. Nancy Altamare, Vernon Township High School. Mark Bray, Vernon Township High School. Mary Rose Cummins, Cedar Mountain Primary School. Veronica Digdon Corbett, Glen Meadow Middle School. Dr. Christopher Jensen, Glen Meadow Middle School.
Hey, I'm sorry, everyone. I know it's a long list, but I just got to say that it's an honor for me tonight because I'm going to go and shake the hand of the teacher who was primarily responsible for me being a teacher, who I didn't know was going to be here tonight.
Miss Mary Ann Longchamp, Vernon Township High School. I'll remember the smile. Miss Susan Lopez, Lounsbury Hollow School. Miss Deborah Lynch, Rolling Hills Primary School. Mr. Brian McCarthy, Vernon Township High School. Laura Scovell, Rolling Hills Primary School. Congratulations. Yeah. It's Joanne Siegel, Vernon Township High School. Thomas Smarth, Glen Meadow Middle School. Kathy Toth, Vernon Township High School. Marianne Vincent, Cedar Mountain Primary School. Kathleen Wyatt, Vernon Township High School. Anne-Marie McCabe, Lansbury Hollow School. And I know who the person is, so I'm going to recognize them. Employee number 5127. Congratulations. Now, at this time, we like to celebrate everyone and what you've given to this district. Again, when I think of Vernon, I think of our students, our community, and the people who make a difference in their lives throughout their time here at Vernon, the teachers. So at this time, we'd like to take a short break, recess to have some cake and desserts to celebrate each other. Thank you.
Too many people.
Okay, good. Ooh. Out. We're going to move on to item K in a moment, so if everyone could settle down. Oh, you can't hear me? Not your fault. I think they got the gist of it. We're going to move to item K. If everyone can settle down a little bit, please.
Wait another minute or two.
No, they're not. Oh, can I use my gavel? Don't make me use my gavel.
Now, you're leaving.
No, we're good. I'll sit gracefully and won't ever go. Okay, Kelly, we're ready for your presentation, item K.
Yes.
Kelly Mitchell is going to, presentation on CSA evaluation and committee effectiveness.
Okay, everybody. So in your packet,
Uh-oh,
you have two sides. It is on. It's
I know,
on.
but I can't hear you on
You
it.
can hear me?
There you go. Ah. There you have-
Yeah, you can't hear me?
Now I-
Okay, okay.
That's why we don't meet here.
All right, awesome. Thank you. So in your packet, you have, we're going to do two different presentations today. So we're going to do the CSA evaluation, and we're going to start with best practices for committees. So a little discussion base. So I encourage you to just chat about, different things about your committees, and maybe we can come up with some best practices for it. So it's my understanding that you are going to now take the workshop meetings off the schedule and just have one meeting a month, and that's great. So, but then you have to have effective use of the committees themselves. It's really important that you do that deep dive of information and utilize them, because now you're not going to have that workshop meeting to have those group discussions on that. So you're really going to count on the committees to make recommendations so that you can move forward. But the great thing about that is it lessens the load for the full board. So the committees are there to lessen that load, to have the committees do that deep dive into information and then come back with that recommendation. So can anybody tell me, like, what do you think would make an effective committee? Carl, you're always chatty. Come on, tell me.
Okay. I think an effective committee functions when it collaborates with staff and with administrators and with members of the community, and you have that environment where people don't feel as restricted as they would in a public board meeting. They're able to have more intimate conversations. They're able to bring up things that they wouldn't want to bring up in front of everybody. And when you have fewer people there, so it creates a more collaborative environment.
Yeah, that's great, right? So you do feel comfortable. You're not in that fishbowl
Mhm.
of board meetings. So
And it's
that's
more-
really helpful.
It's more convenient because a lot of times we can do them online
Right.
and they're virtual.
Yeah, so you have been doing a lot of Zoom committee meetings, right? So that's really helpful too, that you're not driving someplace, that time that you're utilizing just for the committees itself. Anybody else?
I think Carl touched on this already, but engagement with the people on the administrative side, more back and forth and discussions with them, because in our board meetings, it's all kind of us talking to each other. So those committee meetings are our opportunity to really get information from staff.
Yeah, so you have your liaison, your administrative liaison on the committee. A lot of times as board members, you don't get an opportunity to talk to those people. So you're getting that information and that understanding of how the district is running from hearing that. So that's really helpful with the committees too. So we're going to go into exactly what makes the committees function really well, and some of the structure that we should have with our committees. So they should be clearly defined. You should have rules and regulations to those committees. You should have a really strong committee chair. And, when a lot of people say that they want to be a leader on the board, the best way to start, if you're thinking about board leadership, is to be a committee chair, because you don't really realize how much work goes into that. You have to actually do the agenda, run the meetings, take the notes, do all that. So it's really setting you up for success as far as board leadership goes. And then also you should really have a really specific reporting process for your committees. And I have that in your packet, and we'll go over that in a little bit. But that should be clearly defined, and every committee should follow that exactly. So you don't want to have policy committee doing one thing and then curriculum and instruction doing another thing. You want definitive role for each person. A lot of times I see that boards do quite well in the beginning when the president gives everybody their chair, position. They have a chair meeting, and they the president will talk about the expectations of those committee chairs. I think that's really helpful too, to define that role. And that way, whether you want to even accept that committee chair. And then also, what your role is going forward. The other really good best practice I've seen is when all the meetings for the committees are ahead of time. So you have that reorg meeting, you're given the chair, and then that chairperson comes up with the schedule for the committees so that you have that well ahead of time. Another really great thing to do is to make sure that all the board members know when those committees are meeting and, exactly what they're doing, what the agenda is. Sometimes we only send the agenda out to our committees, the members on our committees, but when you send it out to the full board, that way the board is in tune with what's going on with each committee. Because you're not having that workshop anymore, that's going to be really important going forward. So we have different types of committees. You have committee of the whole, the ad hoc. We did that years ago with food service, if you can remember. And I think you did that with the cell phone policy as well. A couple of different things. You could do that as a temporary measure. And then you have your standing committees. And that's what we're really going to talk about today, and the structure of those, because that's what's going to drive you going forward. When we talk about committee of the whole, I've had boards switch to that because they may be a newer board and they all want to learn at the same time. They all want that same information at the same time. And that's really important to them. So that's why you would see a committee of the whole. Or sometimes a committee of the whole is just for one subject matter. They might decide that during budget season, you're going to be committee of the whole for finance, and that's okay. Just know that there's no hard and fast rule for committees. Whatever works for the board works for the board. So there's no committee law in any way. There's no, regulations that you have to follow a certain way. Whatever works for the board is the best. So when we talk about committee of the whole versus standing committees, again, the committee of the whole is when everybody wants to hear the same information at the same time. The standing committees is the one that saves you all that time at board meetings. So you're going to come prepared to the board meeting with already knowing what those committees talked about, what the recommendation is going to be, so that you can move forward with voting. And then when we talk about what committees you have, I have a really good handout in the first part of your handouts from Long Hill Township. They have a great way of spelling out their committees and then exactly what their responsibilities are. So I put that in there. They have that up on their website and they do a great job of that. So that's something maybe to think about. But when you think about your board, do you think that you have the right committees, or do you feel that they should be restructured in any way?
Well, we did restructure a little bit in the beginning of the year, but I don't know if anybody feels that there's any gaps there. We did lose the liaison committee and replaced it with the Community Relations Committee. So are you finding that's working out well for you?
I'm finding it works pretty well. The only thing that I think is missed is that the liaison was more a direct relationship with the town council, where community relations is more a relationship with the community. That doesn't mean that we can't collaborate with the town council. It just has lost that priority focus. But that's something I'm debating whether or not it's really missed. I think it depends on the members of the board, the members of community relations, and the objective that community relations is pushing for.
Yeah. So when you sit down, and we can do this at our July meeting when we do the board self-evaluation and the goals, we can go over some of this data again. And when you sit down to figure out the responsibilities of that committee, maybe you want to revisit that and see if that's something that the committee wants to do, add that component in, you know?
I've thought at times that it might be, especially once we have a more consistent membership to community relations, it might be a good idea to ask one of those members to be a liaison to the town council. But again, something worth looking at down the road, like you said.
Yeah, and Carl, I saw the ad for the state of the state. That's fabulous work. And that's coming from your committee, correct?
It is in
Yeah.
collaboration with our principals, in particular, Ms. Van Orden. She's been integral to that.
Gosh, it's so great. I think that's going to be an amazing event. So thank you for the work on that.
Thanks.
So when we think about, having that guidance as far as policy and regulation for your committees, I did put into your packet, you do have a bylaw for your standing committees. I did not see, though, a regulation. Charles, you're the chair for policy? Yeah, so I took a look. I didn't see it. Maybe I was missing something, but if you don't have a regulation for your standing committees, when you do go to put like exactly what detail each committee has, then you might want to do a regulation on that and add that in. And like I said, I gave you a handout for Long Hill Township. They really spell out their committees quite well, so maybe you can use that as a template.
Yeah, we actually, when we started, Jen sent out some requirements for us to do as a committee, but it would be actually better, I think, to put it in as a regulation,
Yeah.
because then it's there and everybody knows, can refer to it anytime.
Yeah,
We just created guidelines and we created a kind of a template for committee reports that the chairs could all use to do their minutes. But that just lives in our drive, in the board drive.
Yeah.
But maybe it makes sense to make that more formal.
yeah. So again, you have it in your bylaws. And that's kind of an overarching type of policy feel to it. But then in the regulation, it would really spell out all those details for those committees. So here's a sample in your packet. There's a sample of a regulation so that you can have that as a guideline when you sit down to do that type of work. And then, when you're thinking about some considerations to assignments, I know that it used to be that the board president was a member of each committee. I don't know if you still have that as part of your bylaws, or whether you're following that or not. But however you have that structured, you might want to put that into your policy as well. Oh, and then also make sure that you have an administrative liaison. I believe you do for every single committee. That's important to have as well.
We're good there.
Yes.
So then scheduling committee meetings. So how do you handle that? Is it?
We did ask everyone to schedule meetings for the year. Some of our meetings are monthly and they're the same day, like, the Tuesday before the public session or something like that. And then for the meetings that are not monthly, the chairs is the partnership is 4 times a year, 3
Yeah.
times a year. And those dates were set in the beginning of the year. So that's what we've been doing.
Yeah, that's the best way. So that way, when the chairperson submits that to you, then and the rest of the board knows when that's happening.
Oh, yeah, we also have a calendar, district calendar, where all the committee meetings are, so any board member can see when they are. But we were not sharing the agendas with the full board, so I guess that's something we could do.
Yeah, they say best practice is to share them with the full board. And then speaking of that agenda, so then when you do your agendas for your committees, are you doing it in conjunction with that administrative liaison?
I am. Is everyone else?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. So that's really important too, so that everybody can bring the data that they need to bring to that meeting, because you are doing that deep dive into that information. So it's important that you partner up with that member. And then this is just a flow chart on how it should be as far as discussion. So you have that preliminary discussion from you hear it from the community, or you hear it from a board member, some subject matter. Then you determine where it would go, what committee it would go to. You would speak to your liaison, your administrative liaison on that, and the superintendent, and like be sure that you reflect it on the goals. A lot of times when we're in committees and we're working on a certain subject matter, we need to be focused on district goals as well. So how does that tie into that district goal? And then it goes down to the committee. The committee would then come back to the board, have their findings, and then decide what the recommendation is going to be. And then the full board would weigh in on that. And then the goal of the committee leaders, they're the coordinators. And like I said, like when you're thinking about board leadership, it's super important to be a committee chair first, because you're going to see what those tasks are, that coordination with the agenda, with getting everybody there, making sure that everybody has what they need, and just like driving that conversation when you're there. Make sure with committees, as when you're sitting there as chair, that you're making sure that you have that minority opinion voiced, because that's really important, that all voices should be heard at those committee meetings. And then also communicate between the superintendent and the committee chair as well. Make sure that you arrange that, make sure that you're just, even though the superintendent might not be that liaison, it's important that you get the agenda over to the superintendent and also get their input as well. And then some guidelines as far as running the meeting. So just give me an example of how some of your meetings are run with your committees. How do they open up? How do you determine, how does a board, like say a board member wants to have something said at a committee meeting, like just want to look into some type of information, how is that asked for?
We do them on Zoom or Google Meet, right? So we use, and if somebody has a question, they just raise their hand thing. So nobody talks over each other. We start the meetings when everybody's there and just say, okay, let's begin. You know, it's not like a formal thing. And then anybody wants to raise a question or has anything to say in the meeting, just, you know how the Google Meet, raise a hand, they put their hands up and then they get recognized. Ask their question.
Great.
And in advance of meetings, anybody can email something for the agenda if they want to cover, if they want to add something to the agenda, they can email the chair, and the chair discusses adding it with the administrative liaison.
Good. And if you share that agenda, then everybody will know, all the board members will know, and then that way they could, weigh in if they wanted to like add something or have a question on something.
Usually posted to Charles made up this really good stuff for folders and things. So we just post it to the folder and everybody has access.
Yeah, we have now, we have a trial. Do you want to tell? It's Charles' baby. So.
Yeah, and actually I have to give a shout out to Nick there for helping us out, and Russ. And we have the board drive now, and for the most part, I mean, everybody's using it. And we're putting our notes in there, and there was a little confusion at first about, not confusion, but we worry about having a quorum, right? If we have Google Docs in there, and you can all share, so it's limited who can write to it and insert it directly. So committee members can write to those files, but everyone else on the board can see them, unless it's there's a conflict or something.
That's
But,
awesome. Yeah. And does everybody feel comfortable with the technology of that? They're able to do that? Do you feel, or do you give like a little tutorial in the beginning?
He did give some people some tutorials. Yeah. And we do every now and then, he has to remind somebody like myself to put the data in the right folder.
Good.
But instead of just emailing it like I used to do.
Yeah,
but now things live there, like we have a folder for, sort of background material, we have a folder for all the minutes. So it's working out pretty
Yeah.
well, I would say. Does anybody have any issues with it? Anyone who's using them?
They've been great with it during the committee meetings because if there's issues, we'll solve it there and the teaching will happen during the committee meeting as well. And like I said, it's really nice to have it accessible to everyone now in
Yeah.
the folders.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So good work, Charles. That's awesome. So this is in your packet. This is a reporting document that we use at New Jersey School Boards. We feel that that's best practice if you wanted to use that for your reporting. If you already made up something that's working well, like I said, there's no like hard and fast rule on that. But if everybody could use the exact same one, it's usually helpful. So this actually has, so where you could write the recommendations of the committee on that and then send it out to all the board members so that they know what recommendations are coming. So that when they come to the meeting, they're very much prepared for the meeting. So I think that that would be helpful, but anything like that, you could just use it as a template. Right.
Is this template available to us in the drive?
Not
I could-
until I,
Oh, you didn't add to the drive?
there is a template in the drive, but I'm gonna look at it and see if I need to tweak it now that I've seen this. But I created the template that's in the drive.
Yeah, under board information.
Yes, it is.
You have to get on.
You
that.
clearly have not looked at. Thank you for outing yourself on that.
But I think that when you have a template and everybody's using the same one, it's really super helpful. So yeah, so we'll have to get on that. And then as far as the minutes go, who is in charge of the minutes? Is it the chair that does the minutes?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and so you're running the meeting and you're doing the minutes and you're doing all that. Okay. That's a lot.
Do you have a better idea for us?
Well,
Kathy Mitchell?
I can tell you that a lot of, boards say that they have another member actually writing the notes while the committee chair is running the meeting. Because I mean, if you think about it, so you're running the meeting, you're trying to be engaging, you're trying to call on everybody and have all the voices heard and, follow the agenda, but you're also taking notes. That's a lot of work.
Someday we will have a policy that allows us to use AI to take notes for us, but we don't have that yet, so.
Well, if
They
you're,
do.
if you're on Zoom, it does that.
No,
No, we're using
I wasn't
Google
sure we.
Meets. We Meets.
Doesn't Google Meet have it as well?
I don't know if we have, what's that, Gemini turned on yet, but is it on for us?
Zoom. Yes. so-
Yes.
We can start doing it now.
It's like a little star button because
So
we
is
have
there
it.
any issue with doing that from a confidentiality or no, right?
No,
Okay.
no.
All right, great.
Do we have to
Yeah.
store that information though?
What do you mean store it? as
So
far as-
like if AI takes our notes for us, do we have to then download it and store it because? Or is it just like if I recorded it and then took my notes later on?
Yeah, you could just take it later on. You could just copy and
Do it.
paste from it too. I mean,
Okay.
Nick, right? Like you could just do it.
Student learner, AI, but that all that stuff that teaches large language model, Gemini, that's great, it's a great place to put certain things in there that access functions, flow through and analyze data.
See, this is one of the problems with our meetings too. You get me and Nick start talking about technology and
I know.
It's a
Everything.
great meeting.
But it clearly says do not deviate from the agenda. So just something so that you can just stay, that the chairs can stay engaged. Also in your packet, I put this little assessment so that you can, after, not today, but you could just look through this, it asks you questions about how you feel about the committee structure and how effective the committee structure is. And I would just take this as a little test. And then if you see where you need help with something, we could actually work on that right at our board retreat date on July 24th. And then this just speaks about what we all just spoke about. Start on time, follow the agenda, make sure all voices are heard. It's super, super important. And then it allows for that accountability for the board. So, so good stuff, right? That's exciting. Yes.
So, if you have your administrative liaison and it's not the superintendent, does the superintendent also have to be at your meeting because you're engaging with the staff person or no?
The liaison is considered part of the superintendent, so the superintendent doesn't have to be at every single.
Right?
Yeah.
I've been at most of them.
You have, no, I'm,
Yeah, I mean.
I just
sometimes the
didn't know if you
superintendent can't
had
be
to
there.
be,
No,
so.
You
okay.
didn't know that rule before, right?
Yeah, it's actually good. You know, he's thinking, darn it.
as long as the superintendent feels comfortable, but no.
Yeah.
the answer's- yeah. So, so good. So we're all set with that. And like I said, like, we'll circle back on that when we go through the board self-evaluation, Jeff.
You gonna provide that, slideshow to us as well?
I think, Ray said that he already received it, so it might have been emailed to you.
Oh, I didn't see it, I don't think.
I have a copy of it that I can share with everybody.
Ray Zimmerman told me, he's like, I saw your presentation. I'm like, okay.
Drive.
Ray Zimmerman shared this.
That's what he told me. Because he said to me, he's not gonna be here, and I said, should I take it personally? And he said, I already saw your presentation, I have it. So I thought maybe he got an email to him. Okay,
Unless he was the only one. I didn't get it.
maybe
Okay.
he just wanted to get me off the phone.
Maybe he's, maybe he went to one at New Jersey School Board.
But thank
They
you.
go-
So Ray will send it.
Ray will
Yeah.
send
Ray
it, yeah,
Slam.
thanks. Yeah, so, yeah, I'll have to talk to that Ray Zimmerman. I think he was just trying to get out of going to the meeting. Okay, so we're gonna move on to, any questions on committees? No? Good. We're gonna move on to the CSA evaluation. And this is something that pretty much all of you have done except for Stephanie and Brian. In your packet there, that colored flyer there, that's the exact CSA evaluation that you're going to see as you go. I'm just still a paper person, so I like to see it as I'm doing it and not have to, like, you're gonna, of course, have to look at it online, but it's really helpful to just see what the expectations are. So I just want to make it like abundantly clear that even though Russ is retiring, and we're excited for you, Russ, yay. You still have to do the evaluation, and it still has to be done by July 1. You're legally required to do that. And no, it's not a CUSAC year, but you're still legally required.
Email that says it's okay to go in there, you know, is that?
He has to,
Yeah, so
he has
so-
to finish it first. So we have.
Went in today and put all the goals that we had talked about. I need to put in attachments for all the indicators, and you should have that earlier sometime next week.
Okay, because yeah, usually we get an email that says, okay, it's time to go in.
Yeah.
And
you'll absolutely get to do that, but Russ needs to do that first.
and we have one board meeting before July 1st. Yes.
Yeah, so we're really gonna have to get on that. The tool did open in February, but no worries. We're a little bit behind the 8 ball, but we'll be able to catch up. So when you think about the calendar, Charlie, yeah.
So if the tool opened in February, so then when would you recommend that we start evaluating? You know, like not, when the year start, the new year to evaluate the superintendent would start?
Yeah, great question. So we open it in February so that all the superintendents in February get an email saying that it's open. Do they have to start it in February? No, that's very early, but we like them to feel comfortable in the fact that they can go in and upload all their data, because it takes a long time for the superintendent to post all the evidence, then, make all the remarks. It's not something that you could do in 2 hot seconds. So it's something that we open it in February with the expectation that the superintendent started in mid-April. So, yeah, so if.
Yeah, so if I was here next year, I'd probably set a date probably in May to have it due. Like this board meeting would have been a good day for that to be due, so that it was open, that everyone was able to access it. The difficulty is a lot of the goals are set, what accomplishes throughout the school year. I can get a lot of it in April, but either a late April or a May board meeting might be a good date to set on the calendar to talk about it at a board meeting before it's due in July.
So I'm just understanding though that if we want to finish it in time for the deadline, then we all have to have our evaluations done before the next meeting so that we can discuss it at the meeting. And the next meeting, guys, is June 12th. So you are going to need to get.
All the goals were easy for me because I had gathered that all throughout the year in that document I shared with you. So it was an easy cut and paste today. The part is putting all the evidence for the standards in, which I will have in probably by early next week, and I'll send the board an email saying that it's been completed on my end.
Okay, so when you guys get that email that it's been completed, if you could hop in there real quick, just so that we have enough people who've completed it so that we can do the conversation on June 12th and not have to have a special meeting, because I know you guys don't want to come up with, I mean, none of us want another meeting, right? We have a lot going on, so.
So we each do that on our own?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kelly's going to talk about how to do it now, right?
Yes. Mhm.
And then you can whip right in there and take care of it, and then we'll be good to go.
Yeah, so when you look at the calendar, so we're, like I said, we're behind the 8 ball, but that's okay. So let's say Russ gets done next week. So he'll have a 48, once he hits complete, it'll be a 48-hour period where there's a lag time. So that allows the superintendent, if they said, oh, you know what, we forgot something, what have you, they can go ahead and upload it. So we built that in there because it's, there's no way to reopen it. We would have to call IT, it would be a big disaster. So we allow that 48-hour period. Once that 48-hour period is done, once Russ is done, then you'll get an email from me and it'll say, it is your turn now to do your portion, and it'll have a link. So you'll just go right from that email, click that link, and it'll bring you right to that document. And then you'll be able to go through. So then once that is complete, I watch over it because I have to compile it once it's all done. So once all the non-conflicted board members are done, then I compile it. I send an email to Jen with a password protection, and then she can access all the compilation reports. And then she has to have a meeting with all of you. She sits down in executive, she goes through all that. That's the opportunity for you to, speak your mind, speak how you feel, revisit the goals, talk about the direction that you'd like to see the district in. That's all those conversations that go on. And based on those conversations and the compilation report, you're going to decide what the majority opinion is of the board. So is it that the goals were achieved? Is it that, Russ was exemplary? And I'm sure it is, Russ. But so then we would be doing all of that. You would then decide what the majority opinion is. Jen is going to have a Word document from me, and it's a summarization report where she's going to put in the summary and what the majority opinion is. And then Russ will sign that, and Jen will sign that, and it will be done before July 1, and it'll just be put into a file. And it's super, super important because it's about 6 points for CUSAC that you will lose if you go past that. And it's an easy A, I always say that with CUSAC, governance is an easy A if you follow all the calendars. So having said that, next year, I would say, build this right into your calendar. So with your board calendar, just build it right in, say we're going to have a pre-conference. A pre-conference is a great time to let all the board members know the expectation for this task. And so you would have a pre-conference, you'd go over anything, any questions that anybody would have on doing the actual process, and then you would just move forward. The other really important thing that I think that you should do is best practices to build in some updates for the superintendent to update you on the district goals. So when you do that, and you're hearing that about 3 times a year, when you go to do this process, it's not going to be as cumbersome because you're going to say, oh, I remember the January meeting when we talked about that district goal and the superintendent said that, we were close to achieving it. You're going to be able to have that top of mind. So build that right into your calendar right after reorg and say, this is what we're going to do. We're going to build in those updates for the superintendent. I think that's best practice. I noticed that when my boards do that, they come very prepared to finish this and they breeze right through. So just something top of mind. Any questions? So you're legally required to have the goals on this evaluation. And like I said, the evidence will be uploaded for you. This is an actual feel of what it looks like. So the superintendent is going to put in the supporting comments, saying whether the goal was achieved, and then having an opportunity to put the evidence in for that. And then also the same with the standards, same type of formatting. And here's just a little copy of what it would look like. Then the superintendent would do the self-rating, and then the board member would in turn do the same type of rating for the goal. And then there's two components to the CSA evaluation. There's the goals and then the standards. So that's what Russ is going to work on this week. And the standards also will have some evidence for you. And these are the 6 buckets for that. There's a new rating system. So on top, you're going to see what the rating is. And it's going to define what exemplary means. Because a lot of board members were saying that when they were trying to rate the superintendent, they were struggling with the definition of those ratings. So you'll see on top there where the ratings scale is and the definition for that rating. And then you would just go through with the prompts and just check the box that you feel is appropriate. This is what Jen's going to see when I send her the email. She'll be able to pull those compilation reports out. There's 2 of them, part 1 and part 2, the goals, the standards, and then at the bottom, there'll be that word template. But if I know you haven't done it before, Jen, so you could just certainly call me if you come into any kind of issue. And then on the compilation report, this is an example of what a goal would look like. So it really does spell out what the majority opinion is, but you still need to have that conference. So I know that, most say, oh, well, it already spells it out, but it's important to talk about it, especially with the goals, to revisit those goals and have them as top of mind. Again, with the standards, it will spell out what the majority opinion is, but during that conference, please let the minority voice be heard. And then the requirements of that, the document itself, sometimes board members decide that they don't want to use New Jersey School Board's tool. You're not obligated to use that. You could just have a rendering of, 5 different paragraphs on what your assessment is of the superintendent, but it does have to be legally required to have all these components to that if you do decide to do that. And like I said, the conference is to hear that majority opinion, to make sure that you're talking about goals, you're talking about the standards, and you're talking about the indicators of student achievement. That's really what it's all about. Another part about, and I know that Russ is retiring, but it is a great time to have that really close relationship that you need to have as a team with your superintendent. So it's telling the superintendent, like, this is the direction that we really want to go. This is how we feel that we achieved it. And this is where we think we need a little bit of work. And it's really important that to have those conversations. So Jen, this is the template that you'd be filling out. You could see where there's a signature for you and for Russ, and then that would just be proof that you did it on time. And that would go, sometimes it's held in the attorney's office, and sometimes it's locked in, our business office. But it should be locked up. It's very confidential. And please know that board members, if you have any hard copies of anything, please give that back after the conference. It's highly, highly confidential. And again, we just go over, what needs to be done, but I think we really hit all the buttons there on that. And yeah, so thank you so much, guys. I'm sorry I took a lot of your time, but I do want to just let the community know how hard you've all been working. You spent 12 hours, I calculated it today, 12 hours in the past 4 or 5 days you spent on that superintendent search. And I can't tell you how heartwarming it is to see such a collaborative, cohesive group, how much you've really spent so much time and attention to that. And that active listening that you have is amazing, because I don't see that with all boards, and you've really done that. And it's so important to the students of this district. So I just, I wanted the community to know that as volunteers, to spend 12 hours, a Saturday that was 6, 7 hours, my goodness, right? That's dedication. And you should all really be proud of yourselves because you've done an amazing job. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Kelly, and thank you for all of the time with us that you put in,
Oh, I
because
love
you
it.
put in as much and probably more, because you did all of our logistics and collecting all the documents for us and all of that, so we really appreciate your help.
Thank you. Thank you.
And the presentations as well tonight, thank you.
Thanks. I'll see you guys on Tuesday.
And Al, that's you, right, in public hearing, or no? Yes, okay.
We're on item L, so this is the public hearing on the refunding bond ordinance. Just a little bit of background information for everybody, if you missed one of the prior presentations. But the district is pursuing an ESIP. That's essentially a plan that allows us to pursue energy savings. Then instead of using those funds in our budget to pay for things like essentially electricity in this case, we would then divert those funds to paying the bond payments over the term of the bond. What allows us to do is make improvements, energy efficiency improvements primarily to the district. And then once that bond paid off, obviously those energy savings are still there, which will provide consistency for those future budgets after the bond is there. Just a quick note on some of the items, just very top level. Right now, just to give you some examples, we're looking at being able to replace 9 rooftop units, upgrading all lights to LEDs, sealing all building envelopes, upgrading the building management system. And then one of the things that we've spoke about previously is the solar PPA. So that's a purchase agreement for the high school, which runs 100% off electricity. We're hoping that'll be about 85% of our electricity use through that solar. Provides great consistency for future budgets. Could spelled out what you'll be paying per kilowatt. I think we've all seen recently, there's been pretty big fluctuations in the cost of electricity. So having that consistency moving forward, once those solar panels are in place, I think will provide a lot of value for the district moving forward. So this is just an opportunity for anyone in the public that may want to comment on the bond ordinance to do so.
Thank you. Okay, item M, public comment. Can you read the nice long?
During the course of the public meeting of the Vernon Board of Education, the public is offered the opportunity to address the board on agenda items and any issues regarding the school district. The board reminds those individuals who take this opportunity that they must identify themselves by name and section of town and limit their comments to agenda items and or issues that directly relate to the operations of the school district. Issues that are raised by members of the public may or may not be responded to by the board or administration at the time of the meeting or at any time. All comments will be considered and a response will be forthcoming if and when appropriate. The board requests that members of the public keep their comments to a limit of 5 minutes. Be courteous, respectful, and mindful of the rights of other individuals when speaking. Specifically, comments regarding students and employees of the Board of Education should be thoroughly considered by the speaker and may or may not be responded to by the board or administration. Be advised that students and employees have rights to confidentiality and other protections under the law. Student names should never be used. The board bears no responsibility nor will be liable for any comments made by the public during the public portion of a board meeting. Members of the public should consider their comments in light of legal rights of those affected or identified in their comments and be aware that they are personally legally responsible with potential liability for the comments that they make to the board.
Thank you, Mr. Slam. Do we have any members of the public who would like to comment at this time? Seeing none online? No. Okay. Item N, student representative report. She's chewing. Okay, hold on. Want me to stall for a minute?
I'm good. I'm good.
All right.
Okay, sorry, pardon my cookie. It was really good, so worth it. Worth it. Okay. Hi, everybody. Even though the school year is winding down, there are still so many exciting things happening at the high school. Just last month, we had students get inducted into our honor society, and our orchestra had their final concert, the String Symposium. AP tests are finally done as of today with the AP Lang makeup. And we're very proud of all the students who sat for their various exams. Most of my friends And a lot of people I know sat for 2 more exams, which is definitely, I think that something we should all be proud of, and something to recognize. We celebrated our achievements and hard work with an AP breakfast where pancakes and bagels were served. I had pancakes, they were really good. And the band also had their final concert of the year, and so did choir. That was just the other day. We had so many students. Artwork displayed at Art Standing with performances alongside by choir, theater, Jazz Express, and hair tinseling courtesy of Cosmo, which I have in my hair. The spring sports season is winding down too. We just had hosted the state track meet, which was a big event. Lots of help from HOSA and the snack stand. So parents, volunteers, students from our school, they were helping out. Also, congratulations to boys baseball. They've had lots of good wins, and I think they just won something. They won a lot of stuff.
They have a guaranteed share of the league title.
There you go. That's what it is. I was looking for it and I couldn't find it, but I definitely wanted to say something. It's also senior night season, so congratulations to all the seniors playing spring sports. And if you're around tomorrow at 6 p.m., be sure to support girls lacrosse seniors. It's their senior night. I played lacrosse for 3 years, so I'll be there. I'd also like to recognize culinary 3 and 4 students for their hard work on their final exam. They made a whole barbecue spread for teachers and faculty and staff at the high school to enjoy, and the food was delicious. Also tonight's junior prom, so everybody at junior prom, I hope everybody's having a fun time. Despite the rain, I just saw a video of it, so it looks like lots of fun. And there's so many more things to come at the high school in the next month. Graduation is 28 short days away. I also want to thank everybody because this is my last board meeting before I graduate. So here come the waterworks. I wanted to say thank you so much to everybody who given me this opportunity to sit here and work alongside everybody. I know I just come to the meetings, but I still think it's a wonderful thing, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity. I feel like I've got to embrace the school community so much more. I look forward to seeing things that are going on so I can report on them in the next month, and I feel like it's just I've been able to use this to transcend through like my daily life and the things that I take away from going to school. And also like I'm graduating, so it's pretty big. So I just wanted to say thank you to all teachers, faculty, staff, administrators that I've had since kindergarten. I've been here my whole life. So I have lifelong friends from Vernon. I don't want to grow up anywhere else. So yeah. Oh, I wish I could say so much more. I think I'll just cry. So but at the end of the day, just a big thank you to literally everybody. I don't think I would be the person that I am today without everyone in Vernon.
Okay, you're making me teary, so you gotta stop now.
I'll stop. Save it. I'll save it.
Yeah, right, Stephanie and I are on all the.
No, but it's just such a great opportunity to be up here and to live in Vernon and to go through the school district my whole life. So, yeah, at the end of the day, I'll always be a Viking. So go Vikings.
That's what it's all about, right? So thank you. And thanks for explaining about the system. Thought I was seeing things because her hair was glinting and now.
Yeah, no, that's my tin soul courtesy of Cosmo. I'm so glad Miss Sue was here too.
Okay, great.
Yes,
I
I
know.
know.
Stop back, follow,
Yeah,
love
we-
to you.
Christina, we appreciate your positive input to the board and your student perspective on what happens at Vernon. Because we often looking through it a different lens, and it's very nice to hear it through the lens of a student here. at Vernon.
Definitely. Thank you.
Vernon Township High School hosted the state NJSIA sectionals on May 16th and 17th. 41 teams and over 1,000 athletes from across northern New Jersey competed. That same day, Lounsbury Hollow School hosted its annual Art Standing program on May 16th, showcasing student talents in music, visual art, theater, dance, robotics, and technology. Families enjoyed interactive activities at the festival, which were made possible by the generous support of VTEA and their NJEA Pride Grant, as well as the Executive School and Community Association's financial aid and events assistance. It's nice to celebrate that as well. Congratulations to the seniors who will be honored at the Academic Excellence Luncheon at the high school on May 27th. Junior prom, again, I get to repeat all the nice things that Christina talks about.
Maybe you won't cry.
There you go. May has been a significant month for assessments. She talked about that with NJSLA testing for grades 3 through 11 and AP exams for the high school. We hope to build on last year's strong AP results with 278 exams taken and 78% of the students scoring 3 or higher. We reported out on AP scores in October. We're hoping to do the same next October to celebrate all the results that the last couple weeks will give us. This year, 278 students took 15 different AP exams. The SATs were administered at the Vernon Township High School on May 3rd. Last year, our SAT average score was 30 points higher than our previous year's average and 36 points above the New Jersey state average. A small group of engineering students competed this past weekend in several competitions at TCNJ against over 100 other New Jersey high schools, and the results are in. Connor Dunnigan, CAD Engineering against first place. Olivia Wood, CAD Architecture, 5th place. Riley Bernier and Alex McCarthy, Manufacturing Prototype, 6th place. Congratulations to these students and their accomplishments. Christina already talked about baseball. They're also the number 2 seed in the state tournament. Softball, the team has had another successful season. The state tournament begins May 28th, and they'll host a first-round game. They're the number 7 seed. Volleyball made it to the conference semifinals. They will begin state tournament play on the road Thursday, May 29th. Track and field for the 4th year, we hosted the North 1 Group 2 and 3 state sectional finals, standing room only. With the delay, I think there wasn't a space at the high school with people from all around competing in track and field. It was a great showcase for Vernon to show off our beautiful facilities. Hats off to the athletic department, track coaches, parents, student volunteers for preparing and managing this large event. Boys lacrosse, both goalies, seniors Luca Vizzini and Abby Sokolowitz, set new school records for career saves. There's much more to see if you'd like to look at more details in the superintendent's report. For informational matters, we're pleased to announce the District Artist of the Month for May. The BTHS students' artwork can be displayed at the board office, and the Cedar Mountain Primary School students is on display at the municipal building. Item 1B, harassment, intimidation, and bullying reports for April 12th to April 30th is an attachment A. C, the random drug testing and school safety reports for April 2025 is an attachment B. Letter D, the harassment, intimidation, bullying reports for May 1st to May 15th is an attachment C. This time of the year, you saw the long list of retirements before, we have many appointments as well. So number 2A, it's recommended that the board approve the following faculty, staff appointments, etc. in the table below. Letter B, it is recommended the board approve the updated district curricula for the 2024-25 school year. The curricula have been developed and reviewed in alignment with the New Jersey Student Learning Standards and reflect the district's commitment to providing a rigorous and comprehensive educational program that meets the diverse needs of all students. The public can access the curriculum through the following link on the district website. That's a VTSD/VTSD curriculum/home. Letter C, it is recommended that a board approve the following appointments to the 2024-25 CCLC federal funded program, all to be paid with the 21st Century Community Learning Grant Funds, effective 5/27/2025 through June 30th, 2025. Letter D, it is recommended that a board approve the following appointments for the 2025 ESY Extended School Year Program, which runs Monday through Fridays, commences on July 7th, 2025 to July 31st, 2025, for a total of 19 days. Letter E, it is recommended that the board approve the following staff for summer CST members at the rate of $40 per meeting. Letter F, it is recommended that a board approve the following staff for summer evaluations at the rate of $400 per evaluation as per the contract. Letter G, it is recommended that the board approve the following staff for summer case management not to exceed 20 days. Letter H, it is recommended that the board approve the following appointments for the Glen Meadow Middle School Summer CCLC program, which runs Monday through Friday, commences on July 7th, 2025 to July 31st, 2025, all to be paid with the 21st Century Community Learning Center grants funds. Letter I, it is recommended that the board approve the following summer clinician appointments, which commences on 6/22/2025 to 8/30/2025.
Letter J, it is recommended that the board approve the following stipend positions for the 2025-26 school year. Letter K, it is recommended that the board approve the following stipend positions for the summer 2025. Letter L, it is recommended the board approve the following professional development that's to be paid for with the Title II grant funds. And then the second table, just without the funds, it's a conference convention training. Letter M, it is recommended that the board approve the travel for board members as per policy 0147 in the table below. Letter N, it is recommended the board approve the random drug testing and school safety reports for April 2025. Letter O, it is recommended that a board approve the 2025-26 Vernon Township Board of Education organizational chart, attachment D. Letter P, it is recommended the board approve the following resolution. Whereas a comprehensive equity plan must be submitted by June 23rd, 2025, and whereas a district affirmative action team consisting of the superintendent, Vincent Gagliasso, Karen Dever, Raymond Slam, and Nancy Schultz are involved in the needs assessment, and if necessary, write a corrective action plan. Therefore, be it resolved that the Vernon Township Board of Education approve the submission of the comprehensive equity plan covering the 2025-26 through 2027-28 school years. Letter Q, it is recommended the board approve the following job descriptions in attachment E for nurse coordinator and help desk employee, IT department. Letter R, it is recommended that the board approve the following policies for first reading, P5460 and P6163. Letter S, it is recommended that the board approve the following policies to be abolished, P1360, P1405, P1405.1, P1405.2. Letter T, it is recommended that the board approve the HIB harassment, intimidation, and bullying grade report beginning with September 2011 through 2012 school year. Our school district has conscientiously implemented the requirements found in the Anti-Bullying Bill of Rights Act. All the Vernon Township Public Schools have met or exceeded every requirement for the 2023-24 school year and has been posted on our website and is attached. The schools are rated on a scale from 0 to 78 in attachment F. At this time, are there any questions regarding the 2023-24 HIB grade report? Letter U, it is recommended that the board approve the following resolution. Whereas a vacancy in the position of building principal at the Vernon Township High School will exist beginning June 19, 2025, and whereas it is necessary to ensure continuity of leadership and administration during this period, and whereas the superintendent of schools has recommended that Mr. Nicholas Demsack be appointed to serve as acting principal during the period from June 19, 2025 to July 31st, 2025. And now therefore be it resolved that the Vernon Township Board of Education hereby appoints Mr. Nicholas Demsack as acting principal at Vernon Township High School for the period of June 19th, 2025 to July 31st, 2025, and approves a stipend in the amount of $100 per day in addition to his base salary for services rendered during this assignment. Letter V, it is recommended that the board approve the employment contract for Raymond Slam School Business Administrator, Board Secretary for the 2025-26 school year with an annual salary of $185,954. Letter W, it is recommended that the board approve the following resolution. Christina, this is a long one for you. Whereas Christina Gianella has served with distinction on the Vernon Board of Education, and whereas through their leadership, the Vernon Board of Education has gained fresh insights into student concerns, student priorities, and what is on the mind of young people in the community. And whereas they have further contributed to the community by serving as a valuable spokesperson, sharing the student perspective at board meetings. And whereas Christina Gianella's exemplary commitment to fellow students in the school district has promoted clear communication between the board, district administration, and the student body. And whereas Christina Gianella has maintained a professional decorum at board meetings, shown respect to board members, and strive to learn the proper etiquette of serving on the school board. And whereas they have demonstrated a commitment to advancing the education of all students without neglecting their own responsibility to strive for success in the classroom. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Vernon Board of Education recognizes Christina Gianella's dedication and commitment to advancing educational opportunity and open communication between the board district administrators and the student body. And be it further resolved that the members of the Vernon Board of Education extends their sincere appreciation of Christina Gianella for the dedicated service to the Vernon Board of Education. And be it further resolved that the members of the Vernon Board of Education extend their best wishes to Christina Gianella in all of their future endeavors.
you. Sweet.
Yeah, it's been really nice to serve with you this year, Christine. It is recommended that the board approve permitting the following student to attend Vernon Township's public schools according to Board of Education Policy 5110. Child of employee number 6723 be permitted to attend Cedar Mountain Primary School as a kindergarten student for the 2025-26 school year.
Thank you.
There's also several
Oh, that's right.
in the front, several addendums. There's recommendations on 2A with a resignation. On 2D, there's another approval for ESY. I just wanted to make that noted before we vote on this or ask questions.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve the superintendent's resolution 02A through 02X as bit of a,
Second.
can I get a second? Okay, sure. Thank you. Roll call? Oh, questions or comments? I'm sorry, I'm just a little, yes, Brian.
Just a quick comment. At the very end, you said Board of Education Policy 5110, and the itinerary here, it says 5111. So,
Correction on the recommended the board approve permitting the following student according to Board of Education Policy 5111
111.
for the student to attend. Yes. Thank you for the correction.
Thank you.
Aye. Any other questions?
Hey Russ, I just want to just clarification for everyone. So for ESY and for the, oh, I forget what the other ones were, the other hires, we're accepting them, so you have like a bullpen to use during the summer. They may not all necessarily be used, and they may not be all necessarily used the entire time.
Correct, especially with the substitutes and as far as if let me look back here. Summer evaluations is based on who
Yeah.
moves to district. So it's based on what type of evaluation, who's available at that time over the summer to complete those.
Thank you.
Any more? Okay.
This is a question more for Charlie, because policy committee. It is recommended the board approve the following policies to be abolished. Could you just elaborate on why we're abolishing those 3 policies? Yes, I do know why, but I feel like it should be public.
Yeah, no problem. So we're abolishing them, actually. Let me look at which ones we have. So we have, well, 1360 doesn't exist anymore, the position. Actually, the 1405 doesn't exist. I believe, right? Yeah, and 14051 and 14052 don't exist either. So, and there's no reason for it. There's no statute for the policy. Strauss Esme, which is our policy consultant, right? They told us, they said that they don't even have a template for it. That they don't normally put the jobs in policy. Jobs more come with, like Russ actually proposed 2 changes in the job descriptions, which are held with the administration team, and they control that.
Instead of in policy, they've been approved job descriptions that we've approved throughout the year.
Yeah, because imagine if we were adding a position, it would take 2 meetings to actually change something or add a position.
So these were the only positions that are actually defined by policy.
There is one more, the superintendent, which is mandatory.
Yeah,
So that one stays, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah, there was nothing else. There wasn't like, teacher or supervisor. Yeah,
It
these are
makes
the only
sense to me.
positions where.
When we had an assistant superintendent, it makes sense that that would be a position that's defined by policy, because that's the superintendent. But then, do you know why we had director of curriculum instruction as something in policy? Because that doesn't really make sense.
Actually, I would say none of them make sense, because we work, the superintendent works under us.
Yeah.
Right? And everybody else works under the superintendent. So it would make more sense that the person in charge of them actually makes what the description is and
Yeah.
puts out the rules. So
We don't know the history.
we
of
don't
how
know
the-
why.
Yeah,
It's so interesting.
Yeah. It was,
Somebody had a bright idea.
yeah, it was actually by accident. We found them. We were looking up a different policy and, I think it was for the advertisements and we're like, wait a minute, what is all this in here? So we went through it in our last meeting and we're just abolish them. 'cause
I
that's
think
needed.
it's a good idea. Thank you for your work on that.
So they-
And if you ever see anything like that in a policy, please let us know. Because a lot of the times that we'll notice something off is when we're doing research for a situation that occurs. And maybe that's when the miniature horses might pop up, Mr. Kraus.
I just have one more question.
Yes.
It's, outside of, these are the changes that you made for the job description. They are not new positions. They're just updates to the current job description, right? Nurse coordinator and help desk technician.
They're positions that have been budgeted for next year, yes.
Yeah, and they were already existing prior, right?
Because
they were changes,
They were
right?
prior, but maybe not one this year.
Yeah.
Right, but they've been budgeted for and approved and discussed.
Anyone else?
I just want to say thank you again.
Oh.
That's all.
Thank you.
Some things for you, but we have to vote first. So can we get a roll call? Yeah.
Mr. Smaglia,
Yes.
Mr. Catino,
Yes.
Mr. Fisher,
Aye.
Mr. Kraus.
Oh, Mr.
Yes.
Fisher, excuse me, you have to abstain from 2M, no?
To M,
Yeah.
that's right.
Page
So I with an abstention from two M.
Thank you. Mr. Kraus,
Yes.
Ms. Pellet,
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney,
Yes, with an abstention on item 2A, number 27.
thank you. Ms. Vecchiarella,
Yes.
motion carries.
Item P.
This is gonna be a long one.
I know, sit back, sit back. Wait, can we just give,
Yeah,
this, you know. Have-
The president.
I think we should take a picture for her parents. no?
Oh, yeah.
Want to get up in the front and take a picture near the podium or?
Yeah. Or somewhere. Like we did for the other people being on, right? You just.
Get her name tag in it.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Student
Get do it in front of her name tag.
Go to the front.
You know, Christina's aunt received an award tonight, Miss Jensen. Her grandmother was in the audience as well,
Oh,
and her mother and her sister, a future student representative.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, Mr. Slam, I almost.
He caught his breath.
Yes, there you go.
Rather brace myself. All right, number one, discussion items, discussion such information items. Letter A, use of buildings and grounds as noted below. Letter B, field trips as noted below. And now we are down to recommendations. Item A, it is recommended that the board approve the following financial reports. As noted below, it's attachment F1, F2, F3, and F4. Letter B, approval of board secretaries and treasurers reports. As noted below, it's attachment F5 and F6. Letter C is recommended the board approve transportation as listed below if quoted trips as noted in the chart. We have the report of the completion of the school bus emergency evacuation drill to the Board of Education as listed below. Letter D, it is recommended that the board approve the quasi entities for the Vernon Township School District as noted below. Letter E, it is recommended that the board accept the donation of T-shirts for students to the Vernon Township School District from Lounsbury Hollow SCA in the amount of $2,204.75 for field day. Letter F, it is recommended that the board approve the ancillary agreement between the Vernon Township Board of Education and Supreme Consultants for the 24-25 school year. Rates for services are included in the attachment. That's attachment F7. Letter G, it is recommended that the board approve the ancillary agreement between the Vernon Township Board of Education and the Sussex County Educational Service Commission for the 25-26 school year. Rates for services are included in attachment. That's attachment F8. Letter H, it is recommended that the board approve the ancillary agreement between the Vernon Township Board of Education and the Educational Service Commission of Morris County for the 25-26 school year. Rates for the services are included in the attachment. That's attachment F9. Letter I, it is recommended that the board approve the following list of medical doctors, psychiatrists, neurologists, educational specialists, and other individuals and agencies who will utilize as needed to assist the CST when necessary and appropriate for the 25-26 school year, as noted below. Figure you probably don't want me to read all those right now. Letter J, it is recommended that the board approve the resolution for reappointments and related items for the 25-26 school year, which begins on July 1st, 2025. Be it resolved by the Board of Education of the Township of Vernon that all policies/regulations, courses of study, curricula, student activities, textbooks, student records, and personnel systems presently in existence as established by act and practice of previous boards of education are to remain in force in effect until such time as the present Board of Education necessitates change by the way of resolution. Be it further resolved that the following appointments related items be approved for 25-26 school year as indicated. We have depositories of school monies, tax shelter companies as noted below. List of approved vendors authorized only to receive exchanges and transfers as noted below. Board newspaper for legal advertising as noted. Board attorneys. I'm just going to list them off and they're all going to be as noted below. Board attorneys, policy service provider, architect of record, board auditor, treasurer, school monies, insurance broker record, that's risk management insurance, insurance broker record for employee health benefits, financial advisors, school alliance insurance fund / fund commissioner, board secretary, affirmative action officer, Title IX coordinator, signatures for general account, 504 coordinator, integrated pest management coordinator, indoor air quality officer, asbestos management and POSHA coordinator, custodian of records. That's for OPRA, Open Public Records Act, public agency compliance officer. That's acronym PACO, homeless liaison officer, school safety specialists, senior medical inspector, licensed water / waste water plant operator, chemical hygiene coordinator, health and safety officer, right to know officer, qualified purchasing agent, with the below list of approved activities for the qualified purchasing agent. Petty cash requirements, athletic accounts, and then related services based off assigned personnel hourly rates for essentially what that means is that we're saying that when someone approaches us, they may be an out-of-district student that wants to come here based on tuition, we will assign the hourly rates for those services that they may need based off of the personnel who's assigned. So it'll be fair to us and the district because it'll be based off the actual individual that that student will be working with. And then tuition, which is based off our letter from the state, which is always from the year before. So that's the 23-24 certified rates, which we'll be using for the 25-26 year. The procurement of goods and services to the state contracts and the cooperatives as noted on the agenda. Participation in the New Jersey State Interscholastic Athletic Association. Moving on to letter K, it is recommended that the board accept the donation to the Vernon Township School District from the Lounsbury Hollow School SCA in the amount of $1,904.15 for bus transportation for the 4th grade student field trip to Sterling Hill Mining Museum. Letter L, it is recommended that the board, excuse me, it is recommended that the board accept the donation of the Vernon Township School District from the Lansbury Hollow School SCA in an amount of $1,800 for an ice cream truck for all students on field day. Letter M is recommended that the board approve the agreement between E-Rate Consulting and Process Managed Services and the Vernon Township School District in the amount of $3,500 as attachment F10. Letter N is recommended the board approve the software license agreement with Systems 3000 Inc. effective July 1st, 2025, as follows, attachment F11. Just a quick note, the first year is what is being approved. It does have 2 additional renewal years that can be renewed based off of the district's path forward, right? So if we want to renew for those 2 years, we can, but it's a 1-year contract with 2 1-year renewals, which got us a bit of a discount on the licensing fees. Letter O is recommended that the board approve the rental agreement with a Perfect Reflection Photo Booth LLC and the Vernon Township School District of the senior, for the senior prom on May 29th, 2025, attachment F12. Letter P is recommended the board approve the proposal for 1-to-1 plus an amount of $6,490 effective July 1st, 2025, attachment F13. Letter Q is recommended the board approve the change order A01 from Walco Group to provide an additional convection oven for the Lansbury Hollow School in the amount of $15,721.23. That's attachment F14. These next few change orders I'm going to read off, and then also one on the addendum. These are all Fund 60 funds. So that's the school lunch fund. So it does not affect the operating budget. So those are funds that are based off of the school lunch program. Letter R is recommended that the board approve the change order AO2 from Walco Group to provide and install a new dishwasher in the amount of $164,349.51, which will utilize $150,000 in dishwasher allowance, which was in the contract, and then add an additional $14,349.51, which will be added. So the first portion will be deducted from the contract allowance, and then the rest will be added to the contract. That 14,000 will be added. Letter S is recommended that the board approve the change order AO3 from Walco Group to wall mount a condenser outside near the equipment pad and core drill for condensate line in the amount of $2,267.12. That'll be deducted from the contract allowance. Letter T is recommended that the board approve Colonial Day at Lansbury Hollow School for students on June 6, 2025. Letter U is recommended the board accept the following resolution. Whereas the Vernon Township Board of Education issued a request for proposals for food service management company services, and whereas the board received 5 proposals to RFP, and whereas Aramark formally requested that its proposal be withdrawn due to an error, and such withdrawal is acceptable to the board. And whereas after thorough review and evaluation of the remaining proposals in accordance with the evaluation criteria set forth in RFP, and upon recommendation of the superintendent of schools and the school business administrator, it has been determined that the proposal submitted by Moscow Food Services is the most advantageous to the board. Now therefore be resolved that the Vernon Township Board of Education hereby awards the contract for food service management company services for the 25-26 school year with an option for 4 1-year extensions thereafter at the board's discretion to Moscow Food Services, Inc. Subject to the following contractual provisions, which are noted in the agenda. Be it further resolved that the board hereby accepts Aramark's request to withdraw its proposal. Be it further resolved that the board president and board secretary hereby authorized to take all necessary steps to effectuate the terms of this resolution. Letter V is recommended the board accept the donation from Rolling Hills Primary School SCA to the Vernon Township School District for the Earth Dome Assembly in the amount of $1,695 and the Mad Science Assembly in the amount of $1,000 for students. W is recommended the board approve the application for Elevate Career and Technical Education Innovation Grant for a one-time award of $50,000. Letter X is recommended the board accept the funds to the Local Recreation Improvement Grant in the amount of $86,000. Letter Y is recommended the board approve the application to apply for the funding for Optimal Comprehensive Universal Screeners Grant in the amount of $8,360. Letter Z is recommended the board approve the student accident insurance renewal proposal from Bollinger Specialty Group in the amount of $59,649 effective July 1st, 2025. That's attachment F17. Letter AA is recommended the board approve the administrative fee of $500 to Health Special Risk Inc. to offer voluntary student accident insurance coverage options effective July 1st, 2025. That's attachment F18. Letter BB is recommended the board approve the application for the Visions Loves Educators Classroom Project Fund Program for STEM at Cedar Mountain Primary School with a one-time award up to $500. Letter CC is recommended the board accept the donation of the following items from Agra Environmental as noted in the chart. Letter DD, it's recommended that the board approve the application for the 2025-2026 New Jersey Child Assault Prevention Program grant for all schools with the exception of Rolling Hills Primary School. Letter EE is recommended the board approve the mealtime turn down agreement. That's attachment F19. Letter FF is recommended that, this is a big one. It's recommended that the board retroactively approve the Elizabethtown gas non-residential gas extension contracts for the following schools. Attachment F20. So that's Walnut Ridge School, Cedar Mountain Primary School, Rolling Hills Primary School, Lounsbury Hollow School, and Glen Meadow Middle School. So we're going to get some natural gas lines to those schools, which is a big deal because we're running off of all oil right now. Letter GG, it's recommended the board approve the following resolution. Resolution of the Board of Education of the Township of Vernon in the County of Sussex, New Jersey, authorizing certain actions necessary in connection with the sale and issuance of not to exceed $5.6 million principal amount of energy savings obligation refunding school bonds and authorizing the appropriate officials to do all acts and things deemed necessary and advisable in connection with the issuance and delivery of said bonds as noted below.
Thank you, Ray.
That was about 4 pages worth of reading, so I figured everyone has access to it. May have been actually 5 pages worth of reading. All right, so letter HH is recommended the board accept the donation of 181 gift cards in the amount of $4,525 from the Albertsons companies to the 2024 Nourishing Neighbors campaign in the amount of $25 per gift card. Letter II is recommended the board approve the disposition of the following items as they are either obsolete or in disrepair as noted below. And then we're moving over to the addendum. Letter JJ, that's that last change order I had mentioned. It's recommended that the board approve change order A04 from Walco Group in the amount of $29,996.63. That an additional steamer to the project at Lounsbury Hollow School. This amount will be deducted from the contract allowance. That's attachment F22. And then last one, letter KK, is recommended that the board accept the donation of the following items from Humble Crew. As noted in the chart, it is a list of preschool furniture that's being donated to the preschool program. Made it through.
You don't have anything else?
Probably come up with something if you'd like.
Yeah.
That took 2 orders?
I did make it through too. Yeah.
Then I get a motion to approve the business administrator's resolutions P2A through P2KK.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Questions or comments? I have
I have a comment.
a couple. Okay, okay, John.
Thanks. I'm just not sure, what's the software license, Systems 3000, what is that software?
So that's our accounting software.
Okay.
So we use it for our monthly accounting, also for creation of the budget.
Okay, one more. 1-to-1 plus, is that the tutoring thing? The next one, letter P, is recommended board approve proposal from 1-to-1 plus in the amount of $6,490. What is 1-to-1 plus?
So I think I know it.
Okay.
That's what I thought it was.
All right.
This will allow us to track our better, as well as ticketing software, tickets and link it directly to devices and just try to streamline the process. Current system we're using is the cost savings of current system.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I'm not done yet, or 2 more. Just see where I marked it off. Yeah, the gift cards in the amount from Albertson Companies. What's the Albertson Companies?
They own Acme. It's it's a parent company, Acme.
Okay, I had, all
Yeah.
right, thank you.
And the plan for that is to hand those out to families that may be in need, maybe students that are involved in the backpack
That's a
program.
great thing, I just didn't know what that was. Thank you very much.
I wanted to shout out all the donations we're getting, in particular from the SCA. They
Thank
raised almost $6,000 for our students.
Yes.
And
That
that's
is-
just this time.
Just this time.
Yeah.
That is incredible. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I also wanted to thank the Albertson companies for their donation and also Agri Environmental. They're donating almost $10,000 worth of stuff. What are we going to use that stuff for? Is that going to be put in science labs?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Does anybody know what is the 86,000 local rec grant going toward? Should-
So that's gonna go towards replacing the playground in front of Rolling Hills. So we put in for the full amount. We got 86,000, so I need to find $50,000 for the savings. So we can complete the project.
Somebody else donate some
Yep.
more stuff. Okay, and why for DD, why is it all schools but Rolling Hills? I just noticed that now, so I didn't ask you.
Rolling Hills is on the, sorry, DD.
I just thought that was.
Oh,
on.
they wanted to use a different,
They just want to use
oh,
a
the
different
different
program,
program, yes.
okay, all right. And I know you want to speak to FF, so do you want to talk about Elizabethtown for a minute, just to yay?
Yeah. So we've been working on this one for about, I would say, oh, I'll get it later. So a little bit over a year. And I want to give a shout out to Mr. Van Kirk, our Director of Buildings and Grounds. He's been very, very persistent with bothering the representative over Elizabethtown Natural Gas for the last year. Phone calls, emails, more phone calls, more emails. And then a few pepperings of phone calls and emails from myself as well. And then we're working with Honeywell on the ESIP, and we've also had them reach out. So we've just been bugging them left and right for about a year. So this is pretty big. They're going to run the natural gas lines down to the 5 schools that I mentioned. We couldn't convince them to go all the way to the high school, which it wouldn't have mattered that much anyway, because the high school is mainly electric. So big deal, because we're going to be able to move from oil to natural gas. It's probably going to take about a year. It's going to take some time because there's approvals that need to go into place. And then there's actually going to be the work of them putting the lines in and extending the lines down. I think it's going to provide some good opportunities for anyone along the way in terms of residents along the way. If they want to hook up to the natural gas that's now going to be available to them. Because obviously Elizabethtown's going to most likely be looking to pick up as many customers along the way as they can, making it to the schools. And then the other thing we're looking at here is the potential to look at maybe another round of the ESIP to try to take those savings and then use those savings to potentially convert our boilers to natural gas, because that would be a pretty large investment to do that. But we could use the savings and go through the ESIP process potentially to cover the actually getting the natural gas into the buildings and converting either converting boilers or replacing boilers as needed. And then the other big thing, just before we move on, is that with this, Elizabethtown Natural Gas is actually not charging us anything to run the lines to the school. So the only thing we'll be paying for is they're going to run it to outside the building. We have to take care of getting it inside our building. But that's pretty big because normally there's a fee associated with running those lines, up to the building, but we're not going to charge anything for that, which is great.
Thank you. Any other questions, Brian?
I had a question about R. Just curious, does it really cost $164,000 per dishwasher?
It's a commercial dishwasher. So it's for the dishwasher and the installation and the plumbing. And this was through the bid process. So it went through the competitive bid process.
It's a lot of money for a dishwasher.
Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, yeah.
It's a lot of dishes.
A lot of dishes.
Wondering if I should just wash the dishes. for
Yeah, maybe you want to side job.
$164,000.
Charlie?
First easy one, Ray, you gave us the fire drill reports for the buses. Did you, I don't know if it's indicated here, but is that that's the complete, all the buses completed it correctly?
Yeah, every bus has to complete it.
Okay,
I'm sorry, I'm trying to scroll up to it.
yeah, because I don't know if there was a number missing here or not, but. You don't have to look at it.
Okay.
Yeah, you still.
Yeah, there we
It would take them a long time to find it,
Okay.
as you said, Charles.
Yeah,
And then double.
that should be everything. Yeah.
Okay,
Thank
and then double A, the $500 fee, is that a yearly thing for that's for the Health Special Risk Incorporated, which is for the volunteer student accident insurance coverage?
So this is the first time they're actually charging a fee. In the past, it's been that we approve them and then essentially they offer the option to our students and their families to elect for coverage that they pay for, right? So there's different coverages they could elect for. They could just elect for, during the school day, they could elect for 24/7, right? So if maybe they need something to supplement maybe their health insurance they have, they could do 24/7. They could elect to include dental, right? Things like that. So it's really just, I think, a good opportunity just to be able to offer that for anyone that might be interested. Usually they don't charge the district, but this last year they're charging $500 as administrative fee, I guess recoup part of their costs. I think the $500 though, in comparison to the potential benefit it could provide, students, it makes sense.
People are taking advantage of it?
I don't have the report saying how many people, but that's something I could look into. I could talk to our insurance broker to see if he can provide me that information without maybe necessarily telling me who it is, right?
Yeah. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Okay. Move to a roll call.
Sorry, I'm scrolling down.
A lot of scrolling.
All right. Mr. Smaglia,
Yes.
Mr. Contino,
Yes.
Mr. Fisher,
I will vote aye on all except for R, which is a nay.
thank you. Mr. Kraus,
Yeah.
Ms. Pellet,
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney,
Yes.
Ms. Vaccarello,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. Item Q, public comment. Do we have any members of the public? We have one online. Mr. Perringer?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Martin Peringer from Highland Lakes. I have a comment regarding the tax increase and regarding Mr. Fisher's claim that we should do a bond instead. If we do a bond, I would like him to get into, without a tax increase, how we're going to pay for the bond. Let's assume we take a 50 million bond out, and let's assume we get the 40% from the state. That means they give us the $20 million. We still have to sell $30 million worth of bonds. And the average yield on a new school bond right now is close to 5%. Over a 30-year term, which most of the bonds are, that comes out to about $20 million in interest, so the state would be paying the interest. Now, how it works with the bonds is, unless they have some, normally works, is to pay over a 30-year point, you pay a 30th of the principal back, and you pay the interest on the rest, on everything. So that means on a $30 million bond at 5%, we would start off at about $3 million, go to zero, and would have to allocate for debt service an average of $1.5 million over the 30 years. So without increasing the tax base, it would be fair if Mr. Fisher would state what he wants to cut, which $3 million out of the budget he wants to cut in the first year, 2.5 million or whatever, 2.75 million the second year, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Because those cuts would have to be permanent. Now, I'm not saying we do not need to fix our schools. We do. And I wish we could do more to fix the schools while maintaining service to the children. And I only have 5 minutes. I cannot go into all the details in 5 minutes. But doing a bond might allow us to do everything quickly. But even being able to sell the bond, you got to present how you're going to pay for it, how you pay it back because it's a loan. So we have to have a padding in the budget to make the annual payments or semi-annual payments on the bond. And maybe Mr. Slam can correct me if I'm incorrect on that. And bond rates currently are going up. The yield is going up. The rates are tied to the Fed. The yield means if, let's say, you sell $1 million in bonds at 4%, and people say, we're not going to buy it, so you might have to drop the price to 950,000 to 900,000 or whatever. You're still paying the 40,000, the 4% on the million in interest, and you have to pay the million back over the 30 years. So you apply a little bit of math and you come up with the yield of the bond, which probably at that point, 4% interest comes out to close to, off the top of my head, 5-6% on the yield. And that's what it's actually going to cost you, because if you want your $30 million, you might have to sell 32 million in bonds to get the $30 million or whatever it works out to, or cut down on your budget. So I would like to, I don't like paying taxes either, but I'm very much, as it should be known, for the education of the children. I'm very much for our children to be educated in a building that doesn't fall apart, where the roof is not leaking, etc., etc., etc. I was at the committee a couple of years ago, walking through the schools and seeing all the equipment that is like from the Stone Age, or from a time when I was a teenager, which is pretty close to that. And so I would like everyone who has problems with it, especially Mr. Fisher, and who wants to do the bond thing, say, how do we prepare to be able to do it and to make a good showing, to get a good rate?
You're at 30 seconds, Mr. Purge. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yes, I'm finishing it up. As I say, it's a long problem. So I would like to get some ideas on that from the people, from Mr. Fisher and anybody else who wants to chime in. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Perringer. Do we have anyone else in the queue for public comments? Okay, closing public comments. Item R, open board member forum. Does anyone have anything they'd like to, Mr.?
I just want to mention that the Vernon Instrumental parents are having their golf outing on June 5th. And if anybody wants to get involved, it's a great thing to raise money for the music department. I know I just put a threesome in. If anybody wants to join, I think today was a deadline to get in there. But if anybody else wants to get in, I'm sure to give you an extra couple of days to join it. It's a really good program. You get golf, you get the dinner at the end, and there's prizes and things at the holes and stuff. So
Where do
it's
people,
it's being held at Crystal Springs.
at where?
Crystal Springs.
And where would people go to find out?
Do you know if it's on the website? I got a text for it. I think that if I could email it if you want, or we could put it, is there something on our website maybe? I don't know. I just got it because my daughter's
Okay.
on one of the Vernon Instrumental parents, and she sent me the link to get in there. And it's
Not 100% sure, but I'm sure you could probably reach out to one of the bands. You can see
yeah, one of the band teachers or something.
One of the
Yeah,
what?
the
yeah.
band teachers. Can see their name.
I don't know if we can say their names. can I?
Susan mentioned being sorry.
Yeah, so then I won't say. it.
Okay, yeah, let's not mention names. But I'm sure you could probably call Crystal Springs or
Or the music.
The music
somebody, one of the
department.
music teachers, but they all know
Yeah.
about it, you know, so it's a big deal. It's a great thing every year that they do. So it's.
Yeah,
For
sounds-
the music department.
That's good. Yes.
I want to speak about the State of the District address.
Oh, good.
Yes. So I
Exciting.
don't want to miss anything, so I'm just going to read directly off of the banner that we have. So the Vernon Township School District is putting on its first annual State of the District address. It's going to be Wednesday, May 28th at 5:30 p.m. in the high school auditorium. There's also going to be a live stream available on the district website. The school district invites parents, students, and community members to the annual State of the District address. The event highlights the latest updates from each school, showcases student achievements, and provides a deeper look into the district's initiatives and future plans. You can expect a spotlight on each school. Principals will share updates, student highlights, and future plans for their schools. You'll also hear directly from students about their experiences and their achievements in student presentations. It's going to be themed Pride in Education for performance, respect, initiative, determination, and excellence. Learn how the district fosters community relationships and Vernon Pride through community engagement. And it's also going to be a bit of a meet and greet. You're going to be able to meet a lot of people who work in the schools. Multiple board members are going to be there. Russ Rogers, obviously, is going to be speaking along with Suzanne McDougall from Walnut Ridge, Kristen Goodenkoff from Cedar Mountain, Pauline Anderson from Rolling Hills, Mark Citro from Lounsbury Hollow, Jackie Van Norden from the middle school, and Lindsay Young from the high school. Is she going to be there? Is she going to be on? Well, it's not, she's not on leave yet.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to say anything wrong. I want to make sure that I'm saying everything correctly. But I'm really excited about this.
Sounds great.
It's an awesome.
And
Yeah, it sounds
Thank
great.
you to everyone who helped make it happen, including all of our administrators and wonderful
So
educators.
that's coming up real quick. So how is that being, I know I saw a flyer somewhere, but I don't think I've seen it, in
It did get onto the.
It's on the district
It's
website,
on the district
Okay.
website.
and
Is it on the Instagram?
I believe it is because
Yeah.
I got this, the flyer I saved to my phone, I saw on social media.
Excellent.
So I know it's out there. I've been seeing a lot of people posting about it. I know it's gone home to the digital backpack multiple times, but I'm just promoting as much as I
Okay.
can, as well as I know a lot
I
of
mean,
other
you've
people
got,
are.
all the major people there, so we really want people to come to it. So just to make sure we're really pushing it out every which way would be great.
And
It's gonna be
in the
awesome.
last couple of weeks, US News and World Report reported out that New Jersey is the #1 state in the country for
Right.
pre-K through 12 school systems. And our ranking has been increasing every year. I was hoping that it would come out in April because with our increased SAT scores and other assessments, I'm looking for a ranking jump for us this year as well. So I'm actively looking on a regular basis to see where we're at based on last year's scores. And I'm even more curious because I've heard some great things about the assessments of this year that the kids took, about our results that will be reported out. I think we'll be able to report some of them out over the summer and then hopefully in October, all the other state assessment scores as well.
But we finally beat out Massachusetts. Now we're #1.
Yes. John,
I just want to follow up. I have an email address I'd like to put out. So
Oh,
anybody who
great.
wants to get involved with this VIP golf outing, it's VTSD VIP secretary @gmail.com. That's VTSD VIP secretary @gmail.com. And I'm sure they could put you in the right direction. Anybody who wants to play golf.
okay, great, thank
You
you.
could just go to the dinner too if you want to. It's another
Yeah, for
option.
those of us who,
The grandparents are very active in that group as well.
sure.
Carl, I'm sorry, I missed the very beginning. Did you say is it being streamed?
Yes, it's going to be streamed. The district website will have a link to the live stream.
But you can just watch, you can't participate.
Yeah, you can just
Okay.
watch. You can't participate, but you'll be able to watch it. So
Great.
And then, okay, say something up?
Go ahead,
Yeah.
So-
I just want to say, it was pretty amazing tonight. 45 years was one of the highest numbers. I can't believe that they, thanks, but we all had a lot of people, 25, 30 plus. Just thank you for sticking around this long and helping us out and fostering our children into a better future. And also all those that are retired, good luck. And thank you for your time you spent here helping us.
Thank you for saying that. Brian.
All right, so I just have two comments. First, I wanted to address Mr. Perringer's comments and let Mr. Perringer know, we never made it to the point where we would have to figure out what was going to be cut because the board, I was in the minority, the board went in a different direction. But, I do want to state this, no matter what it is, I still have the best interest of this district at heart. I still have two sons who go to this school. And in fact, we're talking about the state of the district. One of my two boys has been chosen to represent Glen Meadow middle school to speak about academics. So understand, you know, my interest is in the best of the district. I will be at the State of the District next week, and I would encourage Mr. Perringer to seek me out if he wants to have a conversation about the future of the district and where I stand on matters. As far as tonight, just to take what Charlie said a step further, with the highest number being 45 years, I actually added it all up, and it came out to 720 years of service for all the people that we honored tonight, which is an amazing number.
I'm sorry, I just forgot one more thing. Thank you, Christina, for your time here.
Oh, yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Can I say something back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally.
No, it's just been such a pleasure to be here. I know I missed a couple of meetings due to EMT class. I had to leave early. I missed a couple due to swim, but I always wanted to make sure that I at least had something. So yeah, just thank you so much. I feel like this has been such a great opportunity. This time I won't cry when I say this, but no, it's just such a blessing to be here and to, you know, talk to everybody, meet everybody, be able to report on my peers and my teachers and my administrators and staff, faculty, just let everybody, I always wanted to make sure that everybody got recognized in some way. So I hope that I did that. But yeah, thank you so much for allowing me to sit here and this name tag and it's just been amazing. So, and I owe so much to Vernon Township School District, the high school, literally anyone and everyone. I really do. And also my parents too. I don't know why I didn't say thank you to my parents. They do so much for me and they've made me the person that I am. And so is everybody else here and my teachers and literally everything. So yeah, just thank you. Thank you to anyone and everyone.
Well, thank you again for being here, sharing your thoughts with us, sharing reports of the students, because, you know, we don't all have kids in the buildings right now, so it's always good to be reminded of why we're here. So, and if you get emotional, that actually helps us also remind us why we're here. So thank you for that as well.
Yeah.
So, okay, is that it? Does anybody else? Okay, item S, adjournment. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second, Stephanie, all in favor?
I.
Very adjourned.
Good job, Mr.
No, oh.
This is Veccarella. I saw the baby pic.